grow? How do you acquire customers? How do you retain those customers? How do you monetize in different ways? Like, you can't just have one method of monetization, and it's not much different than if you were trying to build like a stock portfolio. You're diversifying, the assets, so that way, if one stock went down, you didn't lose all your money. Your marketing strategy, or just your growth strategy in general, needs to be heavily diversified, because if one thing stops working, you don't want that business to stop working.
Yeah. So how did you acquire this job?
I put a billboard up in Times Square with my resume on it. And
okay. Well, hold on here. First of all, how'd you come up with this idea?
I mean, Banksy, the street artist, had put up a what did Banksy do? Banksy had was in New York and did a random activation.
Yeah.
And I was just bet, Banksy is doing this activation. He did this mural, and there's a billboard above it, and I just called the number on it underneath, and put the call, the number, the tag, so yo, this is the location, this number. And they told me, the price was how much was it? It was it's quite a few MacBooks.
Yeah. I can see that.
So it was quite a few MacBooks.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, it was a risk. I was taking a bet on myself. I was if I put a digital resume up on this billboard, something's going to change. Life is going to change. And I think at certain points in life, you got to just take risk. I mean, you took a risk coming out here to a ranch and just said, "Hey, I'm gonna be a chef."
Yeah,
that's a huge risk in itself.
Yeah,
but it pays off, or it doesn't. And so in this case, it paid off, and I was able to meet Mark Cuban and kind of get connected with his camp, and we were able to make something work.
So he called you directly?
Yeah, he shot me an email, and so at first I thought it was fake, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're Mark Cuban, whatever, bro.
Yeah, you thought it was. I was this dude's chopped.
Yeah,
some spammer on the internet.
Right.
And, it was actually him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how fast did your life change after you took that job?
I would say it was pretty immediate. It was definitely pretty immediate. It was one of those things where your life, it starts to things start to cultivate in different ways and manifest in unique ways, because you had your friends that try to reach out because they're oh, you work with Mark Cuban, blah blah blah, and those are I would say the people that are just kind of entrepreneur junkies.
Yeah,
they follow entrepreneurs, but I don't know, maybe they think that just by watching entrepreneurs one day it'll click for them.
Yeah,
and I think there is some truth to just knowing what the past has kind of served up, but I would definitely not limit myself, not in any capacity, if it related to entrepreneurship and just tracking and watching people, because I feel the people that do that, they're missing the boat on a lot of things, because you're wasting a lot of time just following somebody else when you could be learning and acquiring a skill that will help you become that person that everybody's watching.
Got you.
Yeah. So.
Damn. So how long have you been with them? No.
3 years.
3 years. And is this your primary job, or do you also do your side hustles?
Nah, man, this is by day I work with Mark Cuban. By night I'm thinking about the future of technology and how it's changing our lives, and that's what I do on a daily right now. I mean, between that and trying to learn Japanese and shit. I
saw your talk with Gary Vee, and you guys were talking about NFTs.
Yeah.
What the fuck is an NFT?
So think of an NFT as a digital collectible, right?
Okay.
And just like a collectible, if I knives can be collectibles, right? So if you've got these really cool chef knives, and let's just say they're from Japan, so you got these really nice Japanese knives, made out of finest metals, whatever. Let's say they were forged by a samurai, just to make it more crazy, right? Now you got these samurai cooking knives from a family in Japan. It's a set of one. In the real world, you know how to value that, right? You'd be oh yeah, this is the knife. I got it from the family.
Yeah,
and the marking is there, and you can kind of it'd be really hard to forge that, because you'd be it'd be different metal, or it just wouldn't be exactly the same. It wouldn't cut the same. It'd be it'd be very difficult to forge that. In the digital world, that's not always true, and it hasn't been true for the past decade or so. What I mean by that is, if I gave you a document, let's say I gave you a Microsoft Word document, and I sent it to you, and you made 100 million copies of the document, which one of those copies is the real one?
Gotcha.
It's indistinguishable. Doesn't matter. You can send me a copy. I can send, Matt a copy. You can send, Jessica a copy. And everybody's got their copy of the document. It opens up in Microsoft Word the same. And, you can print it the same. So who is to say that that's not the original, or that copy doesn't have as much value as the original?
Right.
NFTs came out. And for the people that are listening and don't know what an NFT is, a non-fungible token, they come out and they utilize this technology known as the blockchain to really create digital scarcity. And for the first time ever, digital files could have value. So you could see an image of a tarantula sell for, thousands of dollars. Why? Because that is that one of the image, and it's no different than like a painting or the knife set I described.
Gotcha.
So we've already been collectors in the real world for a long time.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is figure out a way where we can be utilizing some of the same habits and concepts in the digital world and with digital files, right?
Yeah.
So, I think, the next 5-10 years, NFTs definitely bring a lot of value because there's these things known as smart contracts that can be NFTs, or NFTs are technically. And a smart contract is a programmable contract, meaning that you have a programmer that can set a predefined set of variables or laws or rules into a contract, and that is pretty much bulletproof, right?
Yeah.
You can't really modify or amend it, right? It's like one of those things where if I set it in stone, it's set and it's there.
Yeah.
And that's really cool because right now we're seeing the use cases as if you make a piece of artwork, and let's say your dishes of food or your recipes, the ones that you make yourself, are unique. They're one of ones, and you want to sell your steak and shrimp recipe. You can jot it down, turn it into an NFT, and you can sell it for whatever price you desire. Once I buy it, you can say that, hey, Q, and whatever future buyer, I always want 5% of whatever this sells for. And if that's programmed into that smart contract, you'll get a 5% royalty in perpetuity for the rest of that NFT's existence.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
who started NFTs? Because you said they came out with it. Who came out with it?
So NFTs are a derivative of the this concept of the blockchain, and more specifically the Ethereum blockchain.
Okay.
Ethereum's a cryptocurrency. They've got different tokens and standards. I don't want to get too nerdy here, but
go ahead, man. This is way over my head, and I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. There's different tokens and standards as it relates to the blockchains, and so Ethereum is one blockchain that's pretty popular. A lot of NFTs utilize it, or they utilize tokens that are on the Ethereum blockchain. But there are other blockchains. So Polkadot is another blockchain that is gaining popularity. Flow is a blockchain. There's Tezos has a blockchain. So there's tons of different blockchains. Bitcoin has its own blockchain.
How much money does it take to start a blockchain?
Anyone can start a blockchain, but it's going to take a lot of resources to gain popularity and security and use, and the security really comes from people utilizing your chain. Yeah. So the way a blockchain works is, think of it as like an infinite ledger that everyone has a copy of, right? So you can't just erase a certain transaction that you don't want to be there, and then write whatever you want in there. It's like, once something's on the chain, it's on the chain for life.
And what were your first few NFT transactions?
I mean, I've been selling digital art for a long time, bro.
Okay.
Like, I started selling digital art in 2015, and my first piece of digital art that I sold was it was a floral skull.
Okay.
So it was a skull made of like rose petals. It was pretty dope.
Who's the artist?
Peter Vu.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Where is he from?
New York.
Okay.
Yeah, but he grew up in Los Angeles. So he was a cool dude.
Did he reach out to you, or did you reach out to him?
I reached out to him. It was one of those things, like,
and he believed in you.
Yeah. He
it's
took
2015, man.
He took a chance. He took a chance. And it was one of those things where I was like, yo, like, just help a brother out. Like, let me cook. And he let me cook, and we were able to make some magic happen.
I love that. So you just wrote a book, right?
I did.
And when is it out?
It comes out in October.
Okay. Are you going on some sort of book tour?
Virtual, probably.
Got you. Well, we could just say that this is the first stop on the book tour.
All right, let's make it happen.
What's the book called?
It's called the NFT Handbook.
NFT Handbook.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. And when did you start writing this book?
I started writing. When was that? In May, and we finished. We're just about to finish, or probably finish towards the end of June.
May 2021.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's you and a couple other partners?
Yeah, it's myself and Matt. What's Matt's last name? Matt. Oh man,
he's gonna kill you for that.
Matt Fortnow.
No,
it's late, bro. We're doing this podcast at like 11 o'clock
because we're getting it done out here.
I've been up since like 4, man.
Suciotalk goes
it's been crazy.
Hard.
Yeah, so my co-author is Matt Fortnow. He's a attorney and just a brilliant thinker. He's been doing this entrepreneurial thing for God knows how long, decades. Yeah. But he's just like he has the vision and he knows how to execute. So again, I described the smart contracts as a way. I didn't feel right writing a book about contracts and not having an attorney on deck.
That's right.
Yeah. that was the premise.
Gotcha. No, when you drop it, where can I get it?
It's on Amazon right now. You can pre-order it. But anybody that's looking for it, I would just recommend just typing in the NFT Handbook, and you'll find it. Otherwise, if you can't, just type my name after that, QuHarrison, and you'll find it. And I think it's going to be available at all major booksellers. Yeah. It's an actual book. So we worked with Wiley. They're publishing it. So major publisher and all that. And we've been cooking, man. Like, I guess you might say like, oh, you wrote this book pretty fast. It was an opportunity where, like, one, me and Matt together, we were able to cut down a lot of the time.
That's true, yeah.
And having a really good outline and a really good team over at Wiley, that really helped us, like, just kind of get our thoughts down. And we just locked in. I'm like one of those guys. Like I said, I'm a workaholic. So when it's time to cook, bro, I'm cooking. And we cooked. We put a lot of time in it. Like, the book is done right now.
Yeah.
We're in the author's review stage. So just even going through that process where you just kind of conceptualize and looking at the work and just kind of saying, I like this or I like that, and like putting the pieces together, it feels different.
You think that you'll do an audiobook? Yeah,
for sure, bro.
You're going to narrate it yourself?
Come
on, baby.
If the publisher wants me to, I'll make it
happen. No, you got to make it happen.
I mean, honestly, when you do a deal like that, like, it's not even really... It's not on you. It's not up to you. It's like you got a whole team. And so, like, if the publisher is down and the agents all they say, it's cool.
I just read David Goggins' book a while back, and
the one
the
about
audio
making your
book,
bet?
the Light Can't Hurt Me.
Oh yeah. That one was good. That was good.
The audio book, it's like a podcast.
Yep.
Because he'll tell you stories that you normally didn't know or whatever. This NFT handbook, is it for the normal person, or do you think that other NFT people, like, is Gary V going to buy this book?
I mean, yeah, Gary V should buy the book, and I think
Have you ever met him in real life?
Yeah, I met Gary.
Is he the man?
Yeah, Gary's legit. I mean, he's a lot of energy.
Yeah,
super energetic.
For sure.
I met Gary back in was he 2016 or 17?
Yeah,
it was a little while ago. It was in we were in Boston at the Inbound conference.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty tight.
What is the Inbound conference?
HubSpot has a conference they had a conference every year. It was called Inbound. I went to a couple of the early ones, and Gary Vee was a keynote speaker.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
It was big, but like still small enough where you could still like talk to all the speakers and stuff.
Okay.
And Gary was actually real cool. Like he was